recording. Okay. So I'm super excited to have ERIN Okеефe here today because I've been kind of mulling this around, and I really, I'm trying to grow myself as a leader, and I really, our team is trying to grow as leaders, and I just think this is such valuable information to be able to talk to another diamond within Plexus. And so I picked ERIN because she's awesome, and I don't know, I just feel like I can relate to you, and I feel like I've known you for years, which is kind of fun.
You're so sweet.
But anyway.
Thank you.
Yes. So ERIN, you are a retired teacher, correct? With 2 kids, right?
Yeah, I resigned from teaching 2.5 years ago. So this is my 3rd school year of not teaching.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
And you have 2 kids, and you joined Plexus in, is it 2015? Would that be right?
March of 2014.
14.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so the first question I have for you comes from the whole John Maxwell Leaders Retreat thing and, his law of the lid, okay? So try to rewind back to 2014, and where do you think you were as a leader in 2014 if you put yourself on a scale 1 to 10?
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, and please don't take it like I'm trying to pat myself on the back, but I think I came in at a 7 or 8, and it's because of my past life experiences that led me to already be there. So when I started Plexus, I was already equipped, and I think that's why I grew so fast to Emerald and Sapphire and Diamond, was because I did already have a lot of skills in place and a lot of leadership, talent behind me.
Right, which is awesome. So can you explain what that means to come in as a 7, with the law of the lid, especially for people that weren't there, didn't get to hear
there's
John
actually,
Maxwell?
if you buy his book, 21 Irrefutable Laws, there's a checklist that you can go through and you can kind of answer honestly and rate yourself as a leader in a scale of 1 to 10. But for me, my past life experiences, I was always an athlete. I always was nominated captain. I always had coaches pouring into me and believing in me and empowering me. I had a position in a school district where I was looked to as a leader for answers on committees. I did a direct sales company before Plexus, and I had a team, and I looked up to leadership there to learn from them and then to transfer that to my team. So when I joined Plexus, I did have a lot of experience behind me in the leadership ability. So, when they talk about a 7, 8, 9, 10, all that, so I don't remember the rating scale, but when I rated myself, that's kind of where I was. And so that means you do have the capacity to, attract those people that are leaders, to attract people that are, kind of have the same talents that I do. Am I able to attract a 10 yet? No, John Maxwell's not joining my team. I probably couldn't get Sonia Dudley to join my team. But, people that already did have some strengths behind them, I was able to bring them in and develop them.
That's awesome. So obviously, going back to the beginning, what did you do initially to develop your team? You obviously paid your $34.95, fell in love with the products. And then when you started sharing Plexus, how did you grow that team initially?
So I personally am always been a good recruiter. In my last job, last direct sales, I'm a good recruiter. I think people with influence are able to recruit better. People trust us, and we have that influence behind us, and we have a lot of relationships built in. I spent my life building relationships. So when I joined Plexus, I had all those relationships intact. So if they said, well, she's doing it, then I should do it too. And I seriously don't mean it to talk about myself or that's not who I am. I'm really humble. So, but I'm just being honest. And I think that's where a lot of people, struggle. They didn't have those prior relationships to tap into, or that influence. I remember Jody, Jody's my level 1. She's an Emerald. That girl can convince anyone to do anything. She used to convince me to do naughty stuff in high school. So you kind of have to have that ability to talk to people and sweet talk to people. And of course, we're just sharing what we love about Plexus, but the ability to convince people that, hey, this is the right place and the right time. So what did I do? I think I just got off topic. Your question is, what did I do? I mean,
yeah, like, okay.
I never read any books. Like, I didn't hear about the word personal development until I was like in the Jewels page as an Emerald. No one ever talked about that. So what I did prior to Plexus, I just learned from other uplines in my, past business. And I just always tried to work on myself as a person, like just try to be a better person, make better friendships. I never read a book. I didn't know who John Maxwell was. I didn't know who Eric Worre was until I got into Plexus. So I wish I could tell you that I did all that, but I didn't. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't. You should be doing all that, reading books, listening to leaders, outside of Plexus, inside of Plexus. If you're having a hard time growing your team, it's because you're not growing yourself.
Right. And you seem to be a pretty confident person. And I think that that's super important too. Even if you have that leader, you've got to be confident. So what would you say, or what do you say to the leaders that come into your organization that maybe aren't a 7? Let's say they're coming in at a 4. What do you say to those people?
It's really hard. I think to get them just doing the basics. Hey, take your products and tell 3 people. Do you feel like you can make a couple posts this week? Do you feel like you can talk to 5 people or start some chats with me? Most people all want it. Like, who doesn't want to be a Jewel in Plexus, right? But without that, all those backup things in place, it's really hard. So I don't always push them towards personal development right away. I just try to get them feeling successful with a couple customers and a couple ambassadors. You work on that stuff as you grow. Hey, I've been at Silver for 3 years. What do I have to do here? And, that's when they have to like really dig deep and self-reflect and see if they're growing as a person.
Yeah. And so you came in obviously at a 7. And when you hit the ground running, were you just posting on Facebook, or what were you doing? Like, what were some of your income?
Yeah, well, when I joined Plexus, I literally was on my lunch break at school, and I went up to the 6th grade wing and just started telling people, and they were like signing up on the spot. As customers, I hit Silver like a couple weeks in, but my first couple of days I was just getting a ton of customers. So I did that, and then I would just tell my friends. I called my friend Liza and Jody, and I was like, I know you're gonna think this is crazy, but this is what I'm doing now. Oh my God, okay, send me a sample. So I did that, posted on Facebook. I sent, our welcome packs used to come with, I think it came with 10 3-day samples. So I would send that out. And I just tell people, like, I had so much belief in these products because they made me feel so good. And I'm like, if I feel good, everyone else should feel good. Why should I not tell everybody?
Right. And I think like when you are a leader at your level, you are confident enough to be able to go up to people and share what you believe in. I tell my team that a lot. It's posting on Facebook is awesome and it's important, but those personal connections and conversations are just so powerful.
I think it's so important to, like, you don't have to be a diamond to be confident. You can be confident your first week in Plexus. And if you believe the products work for you and you love them, there's no reason why you should be afraid to tell people,
Right. Okay. So now you have a team, right?
Yeah.
So what would you say? A month and a half. Well, now you have a real team. But let's say, okay, a month into Plexus, you have a team, right? Yeah. So how did you cast the vision to them? How did you encourage them initially?
It was just so exciting, and my passion level was like a 15 out of 10. On a scale of 1 to 10, I was a 15, and my excitement level was a 15. And everyone and their mother was going Silver. It wasn't like, oh, we'll get a Silver here. Everyone was signing 3 people a month. And you don't just do it once. You do it over and over and over again. And that's what everyone was doing. Everyone had the vision of, I want to go gold. Okay, what next? Okay, I want to go senior gold. And they were just doing it. Everyone was just doing it.
That's amazing. That's amazing. You know that? That's amazing.
It was exciting.
Okay, so here's the deal. So obviously, everyone was signing, everything was going great, but there had to be some point in the last 4 years that the momentum slowed down. Okay.
Yeah.
So remember back to the first time you're right. So think back to the first time your momentum like slowed. right? People stopped signing 3 people. You know, things were slowing down, and, you know, I'm sure your passion was still there, and you were still, you know, just as excited about the products as you were when you began, because I think that's key. I think the leader sets the trend, right? But what did you do? What did you do to reignite that, you know, momentum?
All you can really do is ignite yourself. And if you have to take people's hands and drag them through the mud, that's not leadership, that's management. So I always did the activity level myself. I'm always looking to sign 3 people a month. You know, I'm almost 4 years in and I already signed 2 people this month. And I will never stop doing that because I will never tell my team to go sign 3 if I'm not doing it myself. Do I do it every month? No. Last month there was 1. You know, next month might be 5. But it's always an average of 3. And the year I stopped momentum was the year I stopped doing that. And I think it was 2016, I only signed like 9 people all year. So when you take maybe it was 11, when you take a look back at those numbers, it was like, wow, that's really telling, because the key to this business is personal recruiting and getting people to silver. Not every silver is going to catch the vision and go to gold, but maybe they'll sign someone that will. So you use those people as your connectors. But anyway, so when you fall out of momentum, you just have to go back to what you did in the beginning. Like, if I can do it once, I can do it again. And there's no reason to ever stop recruiting. I had someone join me on Sunday that's been watching me for 3.5 years, guys. 3.5 years.
I saw that.
I mean, it's so exciting, you know, it never, ever, ever gets old. And will she be my next rock star? Probably not. But she might connect me with someone that is, you know, she doesn't really want to work the business, but she wants to feel better. She's a teacher. She'll probably connect me to someone who, you know, needs to make some extra money. And hey, you know, so personal recruiting.
You know, from the outside looking in, Erin, you're very good at that. Like you are always, it always seems like you're working just as hard as the rest of us. So
yeah,
that's
I mean, I'm not good at everything and I'm not good at a lot of things, but I am good at recruiting and I am good at, and the reason why is because I follow up like a champion. I'm amazing at follow up.
Oh my gosh, we were just talking about that last night. So how about it? What is it? 7 to 15 times sometimes?
Yeah.
You have to with someone?
Yep. It's like,
that's true, right?
Let's go. But yeah.
Seriously.
I'm good at it.
Okay, I was just going to say, you know, you've touched on some of this, but like the number one key component of a leader, would it be recruitment?
It would be doing the actions that you expect your team to do. You know, they're going to look at you, and if you're not haven't signed anyone in 6 months, they're going to look at you and be like, why should I do it? They're not doing it. You know, they duplicate, your teams duplicate what you do. And when you're not signing, they're not signing. When you're not posting on Facebook, they're not posting on Facebook. When you're not getting on team calls, they're not getting on team calls. So you have to do the activity that you expect your team to do.
Yeah. Great advice. That's awesome. Okay, if you could tell your beginning self something, what would it be now, 4 years in?
Oh gosh. That's a good one. You got to prep me for these questions. I mean, I kind of like it not knowing what the questions are, but
see?
That you're not invincible. You know, I never ever thought, like, my team is doing really well and I love them and we're all very successful, but I never thought it would slow down, and it has. And that's just part of network marketing. It happens in every company you join, and you need to enjoy the not so great times as much as you do the great times, because you're going to learn way more when you fail and when things aren't great than you will when things are great. So I would tell myself to enjoy the hard times. And in classes, are they really hard? I mean, I used to be a teacher. This is not hard. This is fun. You know, like teaching's hard. That's a hard gig. So the hard times aren't even really relative to like real life hard times.
Right. Right. And I think that is, that's so true, especially for people that come out of the gates really like running, right? And they might perceive that it's easy on the front end. Absolutely. You're going to have your ebbs and flows, but it's consistency, right? Continue to do what you're doing. I love, sometimes I think as new leaders, we try to, study it too much. You know what I mean? Instead of just doing it.
Seriously, let's not overcomplicate it.
Guilty.
You talk to people, you share the products, you share the plan, you enroll them, you get them to silver. Or else if they're customers, you ask for referrals to go find someone who does want to enroll. You help people feel better. It's simple. And I think the more we complicate it, the more people are going to get frustrated. It's simple things. Increase your network. Always be looking for new, people to add to your network. Share your life, share your story, talk to people. Then when they're ready, share Plexus. We have a great product line and we have a great compensation plan. You get them enrolled,
Right. And so creating a great, team environment too, like it's so important. And that's something, I think a lot of people that come to Plexus, especially when you're at a 7, have been a leader somewhere else. And for me, it's been interesting because I've really had to learn a lot, even though you're a leader out there. Plexus is different, right?
Yeah.
So how do you have a great team, Erin? You guys have great energy and you just have a great relationship. So what do you think are some of the key things that help with that?
I think that it's so important to realize that we're all people first. We're not just business ambassadors. You got to get to know your people on your team, down your levels. You got to get to know them. You have to get to know people outside of your team. I think you have to really ask them about their day, ask them about their kids, ask them what makes them excited. You got to have fun. People love to talk about themselves. So if you can ask people questions to engage them and they can share about their lives, they're going to know, not think, because you actually should really care about your team, but they're going to know that you truly just care about them and don't just look at them as a number on your team or points to the next rank. You got to really take care of your people.
Right. I agree with that. And I think sometimes in the run of everything, we forget that, even though we do passionately care about our team members. We're just, everyone's just trying to fit everything in, and it's important. I agree. It's important relationships. So anything else you want to add, anything else that I didn't ask about that you might think would be important to share with, with people trying to.
Yeah, I think just be present. Like when people see you disappear on Facebook, whether you stop posting about your life or you stop posting about Plexus, you're basically saying, I'm closed for business. And there could be someone out there that really needs you. So please just be present and be engaged and be online. This is social media, so you got to be social. I think you hit, there you go. So do that. Be consistent with your IPAs. Don't go, if you go a week or a month, it's going to turn into 2 weeks and 2 months, and then 3 weeks and 3 months. And then we know sometimes it takes 3 months to get someone on board. So you basically set your business back a good 6 months. So don't go ever a whole week without doing some income producing activities, ever. Because you wouldn't even believe the compound effect that's going to have on your business.
Yeah. And income producing, you mean making, isn't it 5 contacts, right? 5 contacts a day?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to be a diamond, yeah. If you are good with silver, maybe it's 1 or 2 a week. Wherever you want to be, that's going to adjust to your level. It's also sending out samples, it's making phone calls, it's getting people trained, that kind of stuff. So be plugged in, be engaged, be in that team, those team pages that you're in, and get to know other people besides the people in your upline and your downline. We have so many stories just in that Gold Diggers group. Know the people's stories and really get to know them. So you could say, hey, you have Hashimoto's? Oh my goodness, I have 5 friends in my Plexus business alone with Hashimoto's. Can I connect you with them and they can share their story? Yeah, sure. And that's how I get so many customers and ambassadors too, is I try to connect the people that I know have recovered from serious illness to those potentials that are trying to get on board, and then they have more belief because it's not just me saying it, it's the person that's really, so, get to know the people in our team page and their stories and share their stories when the time is right.
Yeah.
Be a good listener, don't just be a talker. You're sending out samples. Don't just go soup to nuts about everything that Plexus does. Ask questions. You have to ask people questions and figure out where Plexus can fit in their life. Are they tired? Do they not sleep at night? Do they crave sugar? Do they have IBS? I didn't know my friend I signed the other day, she is recovering from Lyme disease. Like, that's pretty significant, I had no idea. And her and her daughter have been taking gummy vitamins for about 2 years to try to feel better. And it wasn't until my vitamin post that she even contacted me.
Right.
So it's crazy.
Yeah.
So I would say that, like, there's so many things I could talk all day about things it takes to be successful, but just keep learning and be engaged. And, I'm not a product expert. I'm never going to be a product expert, but I do learn something more and more every month that's going to help me have more confidence when I'm talking to people about the products. Because my confidence is in this business plan. Like, I can talk soup to nuts and the ins and outs, everything about the compensation plan and how to build a business and the products I love, and I love them all, but I can't tell you what's in half of them. So don't feel like I know the basics to get by, and I keep learning.
Okay, so in the beginning, obviously it just made me think of this question. So in the beginning, when you first started, obviously you weren't 100% on the comp plan. You didn't know it inside and out. You didn't know the products.
I did.
Right. So what did you do? How did you do? What did you do?
Well, I joined for the compensation plan.
Okay.
I read the compensation plan like 50 times, and I'm like, there's something really to this business. So I knew that in and out when I joined. But
okay.
What did I do? I just talked to people. When I talked to them, my voice was excited. My body language was excited. I was passionate. Like, I was happy. Who doesn't want to be around that,
Mm-hmm.
So, and, again, like, they trusted me. So if I said, oh my God, you're going to feel so dang good, they didn't care what was in it. They just wanted to feel good too,
Right. So if you had a question though that you didn't know, did you utilize your upline at the time?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. All the time. And Kathleen, my upline, thank God, knows all the products inside and out. So
right.
You have to find those people that have different skills,
Right. Awesome. You rock. Thank you so much for sharing with our team. I think it's so valuable to hear other people's voices. And your goal digger calls, I mean, we appreciate. I know you guys don't hear it enough because it's really hard to get on every week with new, information, but we appreciate it. So.
Oh, of course. And, I think it's good to have all different kinds of voices in there. And I love that we're now bringing in testimonies and product information. So you guys feel better equipped to go out there and get to work and share Plexus. And yeah.
Right.
Good
stuff. Yay. Well, it's going to be a great end of the year. I think everybody who left Leaders Retreat is fired up. So
if you're not, I don't know what to say.
Like, I know, seriously.
I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, if John Maxwell can't make you realize that you've got work to do, then you might as well go home.
Just turn off your account. Goodbye.
That's so true. That's so true. All right, I'm gonna stop the recording now. So thank you so much. Let's see here, and I am going to do.
Katie is technologically challenged like I am.